Greetings. So before I had made a video saying that we need a new frame for how we talk about what's happening with our whole political situation or economics, war, global, domestic, the whole thing, right? It needs to be not Republicans versus Democrats, but it needs to be like an elite cabal of evil people that are global and are loyal to their stockholders, are loyal to the boards they sit on, are those kinds of things. They're not loyal to us anymore. And increasingly what's happened, what I wanted this video to be about, is about the separation that's happened between like what is considered quote unquote elites or the ruling class or the owners, people that buy the advertising, right, own the media, and are kind of taking our tax dollars and using them military campaigns all over the world. Our Congress is no longer using its congressional war power. So those are the people that would represent us, our Congress, and more, the sort of most direct way of representation, where they come and check in with the constituents, us, and we say, hey, we're not feeling the war against Kazakhstan. I don't think, are they on our border? Like, I don't think, is Kazakhstan like threatening us or something? I'm not feeling it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say no, big no on like a military adventure or regime change operation or anything like that in Kazakhstan. Okay, there's a big no from the constituents, and so go back and go run tell that, but it's not working that way at all. And, so I was going to say, the Congress then has war powers, right? They have the power of the purse. They're the ones that are supposed to approve the budget for military adventures or wars. And, it's this kind of thing where they're supposed to deliberate and figure out, hey, have we done diplomacy, or is there something else, can we form a new alliance or do something, you know what I mean? Supposed to kind of deliberate, figure out, do we really need to start killing our own species, right? And so anyway, that's supposed to happen, and it's not been happening at all. We all know that, because the CIA is just turning this rogue thing. It's since 47. I mean, come on, has there ever been Guatemala? Which American said, oh yeah, I want to go down there and murder a bunch of people for a fruit company? You know what I mean? Like, no one wanted that, but so the CIA's rogue thing, out of control, doing all kinds of stuff. Deep state, quote unquote, I think I'd like to call it the steady state. These are the people that are in power. We have to acknowledge this, between administrations. So administrations come and go. Sometimes the Democrats, sometimes the Republicans, right? But these people are the people that are kind of always in power. And we don't always know their names. They're not interesting a lot of times. They're, stockholders, or people that show up at meetings or something, multiple board directors, people that are like hold a directorate on different boards, big major corporations, banks, hedge fund operators, anyway, that wasn't what I want to talk about. But there's a class of people now that are really making huge decisions, doing a lot of running, just going with it. They've gone rogue, pretty much. They're not even pretending. There's not a veil of democracy or representation anymore. And the reason that is because they've also really insulated themselves. If the elites, this is not conspiracy. There's all out in the open. You just see it. It's happened. It's done. Gated communities, just elite enclaves, and yachts, and all this, They are kind of, in fact, they've sort of privatized a lot of things. So they're not relying on public infrastructure anymore. They've abandoned public transportation. You're not going to see them. They're not mingling with us. They're not sharing the same spaces with us anymore. When we go to the corner store, you know, it's just sort of a working class element and below a lot of times in certain areas. And then there can be there's a professional class, of course. There's a sort of top tier that serves elites a lot of times. They might be the accountant for someone who's a quote unquote elite, blue book people, you know what I mean? Um, but that 20%, they are increasingly insulated from us too, from people. And since the pandemic and everybody's, experiencing reality through the filter of the internet, which has been weaponized, AI, not just AI, the whole consolidation of the social media platforms, and then, the censorship that's taking place there, what's called shadow banning of people. Just, you don't see them anymore, they're just gone. Or what's called filtering, content filtering, or whatever. They just aggressively just filter you off, so that if somebody comes and goes to their feed, they're never going to see you. They're not going to see your feed. They're not going to see that story anyway. They might see, if you post a picture of your sandwich, that's going to happen. That's awesome. But if you make a statement about something that matters, they're not going to see it. And so this is all happening, and we know this. So there's this separation that's happened. And it creates this insulation for some people that they are now no longer impacted by the policies that they're advocating for. So they're pushing for certain policies and stuff, and they might just be like, hey, let it rip, man. Whoa, hey, a bunch of, there might be some big consequences, things happening, but that would in former years, when we were more intermingled with society and using the same transportation systems and part of the same world that they were part of, that would we would have to support a tax and spend structure, as it was a social part of our mixed economy, socialist, capitalist economy. We have to make sure that that socialist part of it is actually working in such a way that's promoting the capitalist part of the economy. And it's also promoting it for a lot of people, kind of a greater good kind of thing. People lifting themselves up, working hard, and making nice wage, nice not just wage, but lifestyle for themselves, salaries, lifestyles, careers, that led to ownership of a house and a car. People paid these things off. They sent their kids to school. They weren't desperate. They had leisure time, and with this leisure time, they were political. And so that's what the elites said we have to do away with, is that leisure time and extra stuff that makes political action possible. And so that's what they did. And yeah, that's what's happened. And so basically people are kind of abandoned to themselves as this empire kind of goes into a collapse phase. And it's a guided collapse for some. That's what I'm saying. They're like, hey, let's just go with it. Let's run with it. Yeah, this is falling apart, isn't it? We took all the money for this, and then, oh, look, we didn't spend it on that. Oh, bummer. Too bad. Who's going to hold us accountable? Oh, wow. Where's the journalist that's going to report about this? Huh. Looks like they're going to run ads for Pfizer for the next hour on NPR. They're not going to report what we're doing. So, anyway, that's the thing. The insulation, the separation that's happened between the elites and the sort of tax-paying base, worker base, and the people that are just actually falling through the social safety net. Like right now, as I was talking to you, some dude just out of his mind with a pole Just like really aggressive, just walking and just my neighborhood has fallen to pieces. It's really it's in being the like hyper neglect phase before the gentrification, if that's what's going to happen. But I think they already know that's not really going to happen here. They've already got too many empty condos. So it's turning into just empty condo land with random violence, and you can't park your car and feel safe about it, just right. So it gets kind of descends into this weird kind of chaos. But then it's close to the tech, everything, so it's got some potential. But I don't know, man. It's the leadership in Oakland. It's incredible. It's just always just completely captured by one real estate interest or another. And it's so obvious that they are. We had Governor Moonbeam for a while and Jerry Brown. But then we've had, people that they look nice, they say the right things, they might be the right demographic, everything's cool, But at the end of the day, I think Libby Schaff, for a while, everybody's like, oh, she's cool, she went to Burning Man, or, she's part of the kind of like upscale Burning Man real estate people, I don't know. But Bay Area, we're cool, But yeah, she turned out to be just a total shill, sellout, just condo, just nothing, no social policy, just shit, So, and see, that's the kind of thing before, if people are mingling among us, going to our school board meetings, because their kids are at the same schools with our kids and all that kind of stuff. There's more of a mingling, there's more of a, mixed investment into what's happening. And right now people are feeling, yeah, no, let's don't invest in that. Let's take all the money over here to the bunker and screw everybody else, Oh, well, look, there's a foundation that's doing this thing. Oh, big 501c3. Oh, look, there's all this money. Like, we can point to this money that got spent for that cause. Jeff, you're talking about promoting food diversity in the inner city or something like that. We have food diversity 501c3, it's beautiful, and we did it. We advertised about it, how these cool college kids talk about how neat it is, and then but unfortunately, yeah, there's still no urban food gardening going on. That's weird, huh? There's no locals invested in their own food. They're completely dependent on the Frito-Lay truck, so that situation hasn't improved. These situations keep not improving, and we need physical infrastructure. One thing was, after Occupy Oakland was starting to break down. I remember some kind of elite 501c3 types were coming out there and trying to, like, oh, we're gonna bring this into our movement, cool, and so one of them, I was out there one day, and they weren't. The guy was like, yeah, let's just let the space go, and we were organizing a reclaim, occupy, reoccupy. So, which we did, and it was cool. But we didn't really retake the space and reoccupy. It was kind of just a fun night or fun time for a while. Maybe just some people camped at Snow Park, I think. But this video is way too long. I have to stop it. But the point about Occupy, yeah, like a popular thing never really came out of it. It all kind of splintered into this thing. But with this veneer, there was some money being spent, things with this kind of, oh, that's cool, I guess I'll handle it, Oh, the thing I was gonna say, oh yeah, so the guys like, yeah, we're just gonna give up the space, not really occupy anymore. So it's gonna be like these little Occupy 501c3s, And I was like, that kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Kind of forfeiting like the idea of holding the space for people to actually just be together there. Now, some things happened. Some things were designed to happen. Some things were brought in, some elements. But it was all handled really pretty awesomely. And if you were camping, I mean, if you were homeless at that time, man, that was a cool resource for you, because Food Not Bombs was there, and there's a library, tent library, and cool stuff set up, little community resources. And that was neat. That actually physically holding that space, it was kind of a reflection of what really needs to happen on a larger scale. Not everything is just some piece of crap chain strip thing, outlet, Amazon driven dystopia. Like, we have to move to local ownership, local control, local doing, local food, local decision making. All those things have been completely forfeited. Just like, forget it. Oh well, we were the left. We had some really cool ideas, and now we're kind of going back to the land. Well, those of us can do that. And permaculture, we got some money. Woo, doing some cool permaculture. Our land's cool, and some cool stuff going on out there, But the cities and a lot of places really have just been abandoned by that elite class, and then even that professional class that now serves them. And there's no media. That's the problem. There's not really good reporting. There's no one coming out getting live samples from the populations that they're reporting about. So that's the level of insulation right there. That's just crazy. More than the gate around the community, it's the NPR gate, It's not going to really, it's going to tell you about MAGA and why they're scary. People that you don't know in Missouri that maybe voted for Trump or something, But they're not going to, if it was reporting, they'd go there to Missouri and start asking questions about those people, who they actually voted for. They'd find out some voted for Jill Stein, and some voted for Kamala, some, maybe a lot, for Trump, who knows, right? But then just don't lump them all in this category and vilify them. That's so Hillary Clinton. That's so bad form corporate Democrat. Sorry. And that's why they're so distasteful to so many people. But at the end of the day, they act like ultimately they don't really care. They're kind of just like, take this, Oh, look, the guy we've been pushing on you was actually senile. Well, bummer. Here's Kamala. No one primary, nothing, just, here she is, right? So they just foist bad candidates on you. They're weakened candidates, already have their wings clipped and are ready just to suck it down and do the steady state agenda. Push the vaccine, whatever it is that they're supposed to do. They'll just do it. And that's the kind of shit we've had. And it's kind of stinko. Trump, wow, it's a promise at the beginning, seemed cool. The peace, wow, just declare